Friday. Let's give it a wiggle. Yes, I'm going to share this right now. I love that.
What? I very rarely love the new updates on Facebook because they tend to break things that were not broken and needed to be left alone. However, the new one gives me the option to go ahead and share this on my own, which is pretty cool. I can only share it to one place, but even still, right? So hi Rita, how are you? Hi Stacia. Oh, Miss Joan is in the house. Hello everybody. Hey, Katie. Katie, you are a constant in my little world, and I just love it. You're always one of the very first faces that I see, and it's just like, I know it's going to be a good day because Katie's here. I love that. This is so cool. I say that, and now Facebook will not show me when you log in. Sometimes I don't see who's here, and sometimes I do. It's like, I don't know, randomly Facebook will send me a little thing that says so-and-so is now watching, but then there'll be 15 other people and it won't say anything, so I won't even know that you're here. But Katie is always one of the first faces that shows up. It's so cute. I love it. Hi Tamara, how are you? Hi Joy. Oh, there's Colleen and Tina and Ruby and Gia. You guys have the best names too. What? Wiggle wiggle? Should we wiggle some more? And a little wiggle. Okay, so just so everybody knows, I'm not procrastinating any more. I know updates are the spawn of the devil most of the time. So just so everybody knows, look at what I'm doing. I'm updating the software on the new iPad. And when we are done here, hopefully I will be able to test out the new microphone and we can just do the wiggles for fun. I don't know, but fingers crossed, right? Fingers crossed. It's part of the reason that I put it off for so long is because you have to sit and wait for it to update, and then you have to pull all of your stuff from the cloud, and it's just, it's no fun. It's just not a fun thing to do. Hi, Jane. Jane, I'm so glad to see you. Deborah. Carrie Lee. Oh, goodness. Carrie Lee. Carrie Lee, did I see you post that you have a grandbaby on the way? That's super exciting. I think I did. If I didn't, I apologize. But I'm pretty sure I saw that. Pretty sure I did. All right, guys. So now that it looks like the crowd's all here, someone just wanted me to do the wiggle. I'll always just wiggle for you. It's okay. We don't have to give up the wiggle even after the new iPad. So, yeah, it's Feel Good Friday. Hooray! I love Feel Good Friday. I love Feel Good Friday because it just feels good for so many reasons, right? It's the end of the week. I don't have a class tomorrow, which is sad on one hand, but then kind of a relief on the other hand because I measuring over 9 pounds. Oh my gosh. Wow. My son was 9 pounds. He was a big boy. That's a big baby. Anyway, she says, Mary says she's got a grandbaby due any minute. Guys, I don't even care what's going on in the world. Like, COVID can just stick it in its ear. Babies are always like the most exciting thing ever. I'm just saying. As long as they're not mine. I'm done. Shop's closed. Just so we're clear, I like other people's babies, but I'm done with that. Okay, oh my gosh, let's get back to it. So Feel Good Fridays are good for so many reasons. Because it's the end of the week, right? I have an actual Saturday tomorrow, which means, unfortunately, I have to clean the house. But when that is over with, I do get to enjoy my Saturday, and I'm actually going to clean out in here, this room. I get it organized, and then I mess it up again. So it's messed up again. It's time to clean it out. Got a lot of craft stuff that needs to be organized. I wish somebody would come and help me. Wish we didn't have COVID. Somebody could come and help me. Colleen, put on your mask. Let's clean this room up. And Feel Good Friday means easy, fun jewelry. Okay, so some of you will be like, oh, this is not super easy. It is easy in the sense that it only takes a few things to put together this pair of earrings. And we're going to use some more patina because that's fun. That's fun things. I love patina. So why are we all crying? What's up with the sad crying faces? Oh my gosh, you guys are hurting my heart. What is happening? I'd rather them cry than be angry, but oh gosh. So this pair of earrings that we're putting together today is, we're using some artistic wire, the flat wire. Now, one of the problems with the Feel Good Friday projects is that sometimes people will say, oh, I don't have any of that in my stash, so I can't make this. This is probably going to be one of those things. If you don't have any flat artistic wire, you may not be able to recreate these exactly the same way that I do it. However, that's not really what I was going for. What I was going for is, number one, we're going to use our hammer, and that is always fun. And number two, we're going to use patina, and that is also always fun. So any brass pieces that you have, you can hammer on them. Nobody says you can't. And the little patina that we're going to add to our project today, you can do this little patina trick on everything. It's not really a trick. It's just a little addition, if you will, to something. So we're going to hammer a little bit. We're going to patina a little bit. We're going to make some easy earrings. I'll show them to you. These are not difficult earrings, but I think the results are pretty cool. Look at that. We're going to hammer a little piece of flat wire. See the patina around the edging? You can patina around the edging of all kinds of things. I love that. Love that. I love to hammer, and I love to paint. So this has two of the greatest things ever. And then it just ends up being a really cute pair of earrings. So, let's do it. Let's do it, shall we? Let's talk though first about the wire. So I'm using some of the 5mm 21 gauge flat artistic wire from Beadalon. And here's the thing. I don't know if you can tell or not, but mine has already turned. Ruth says she is up for neat pearl designs since pearls are the new rage. All right, you got it. Let's do some pearls next week. I'm all about that life. I got a ton of pearls because just like you said, they're like in super fashion right now. So let's do some pearls next week. So what I wanted to show you is, I don't know if you can tell, but see how terrible this stuff looks? And I don't mean like, oh my gosh, gosh, Beadalon, what have you done? That's not what I mean. What I mean is, you can see it's already started to color. It's discoloring. And let me tell you why. I am one of the most acidic people ever. Okay. I love copper from the depths of my soul because it looks good with my hair. And it's just beautiful. I also love the antique copper because it doesn't tend to turn on me nearly as fast. But raw copper, you guys, all I have to do is take it out of the package and look at it, and it will turn color on me. This stuff is brand new, and it was beautiful until I opened the package and held it in my hand. And now it's just funky nasty, okay? If you are like me and very acidic, because that's what happens, like all coppers are going to over time are going to age and turn colors, right? But some of us are very, very acidic. And those of us who are, we tend to tarnish brass and copper very, very quickly. So if you are like me and all you have to do is look at it and it's going to change color, I've got a trick. I've got a trick for that. And we can thank the Vintage Patina Ranger ink people for that little trick. So yeah, I hope that I'm going to solve a little bit of problem for some of you, because the struggle is real. Especially when you love, like, silver. I'm fine with silver, but for whatever reason, gold colored brass things and copper, I just have to like breathe in its general direction and it changes color. So, oh, I see I'm not the only one. Julia says she loves my earrings. Thank you. You like my earrings? These are just a little Candy Cooper kit I got a while back. Donna says she's Italian, definitely acidic. Yep, I would say so. You got tomatoes in your veins, you know? I don't know what that whole accent was. Whatever. Oh my gosh, somebody stop me. Can we get down to business, please? All right. All right, giving it here. Wiggle. I hope everything works out here, okay? Because it just popped up a little headphone thing. I have no idea what that means. So it's quite possible no one can hear me at all right now. Okay, so again, let me show it to you. You can see where it's turned color, and all I did, it's literally brand new. It still has the little thing on it and everything. I just took this out of the packaging maybe 3 days ago, and all I did was just touch it. I just touched it, and you can see it all. You can even see my fingerprints in it. That's how acidic I am. Like, it's crazy. Whereas like my mom, she can handle it and make jewelry with it all day long. It doesn't turn it at all. And I'm like, gosh, Mom, how are we so different? How is that so different? So I'm going to show you a little trick for that. So let's go ahead and get a piece of this out. You're going to need a 1-inch piece. Okay, and I'm using the 5mm. The 5mm, look, you can see the parts where I haven't touched it, how shiny and beautiful they are. And then you can see where I've handled it. That's so funny. But I don't even know what I was gonna say. Oh, we're gonna need 1 inch of this. I'm using the 5mm because it's 5mm wide. It also comes in a 3mm, which is fine for certain projects, but I like the wider surface area. It just gives me more room to do fun things. So I always pick the wider version of the flat artistic wire. It's just, I don't know, I guess it's because it gives me more surface to hammer, which is the fun part. All right, so I'm gonna straighten out a little bit here. We're only gonna need 1 inch of this. So I'm gonna lay it up against my ruler here. Okay, mark that with my thumb and cut. So it might not be the most exact measurement ever, but it's pretty darn close. That's good enough for me, okay? And I'm using my flush cutter for this so that I can get a nice flat edge. If you use your other cutters, you may end up needing to file it just a little bit. You don't have to file it very much, okay? In fact, if you're gonna hammer on it, you may not have to file, you may not have to do that at all. So here's what we're gonna do. Before we get into the patina parts of this, right, we're gonna go ahead and hammer this. I'm gonna use my chasing hammer. I'm using the ball end of my chasing hammer. We're just gonna dap all over it to give it that kind of modelly look, okay? And one thing that I definitely want to do is I want to focus on the edges, right? All the way around. Make sure that you hit all of the edges, even the inside, but definitely focus on the edges, okay? That again will help you not have to file it. So we're just going to hammer on the entire piece. And you can tape it down if you're afraid you're going to hit your fingers, which is probably what I should do, but I like to live dangerously. Oh! Okay, it looks like I've gotten all of the center pretty good. You can see how fun is that? Now I really am going to focus on the edging. I'm just going to go up and down each edge. That'll help to kind of round out your corners, as well as softening up that really strong edge that this stuff has. All right, that looks pretty good. Looks like I got all the edging. Okay, so that's what we've got so far. You can see it has that really great texture now. On the back, still nice and flat. You can do both sides if you want to. I don't really find that it's necessary to do that, but we've got this great texture that we can add patinas to, right? We can add all kinds of fun things to this, or just leave it and the light catches it just like it is. It's really, really beautiful. I'm going to sit my hammer and my block to the side here. And I'm going to grab a Kleenex because I forgot. So Got something to wipe my fingers on here too. All right, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to punch 2 holes in this. Okay, I got to punch a hole in both ends, and I'm using a 1.25 millimeter Euro punch tool. I've had this guy forever. He doesn't even spring open and closed anymore. Like, he's seriously seen better days. I even glued the handle cover back on. That's how long I've had this guy, but he still punches holes. So he can stay, So I'm just going to place it into the tool, give it a squeeze, and then wiggle it off of the tool. Okay, if you do not have a punch to punch holes in your metals, you can always use nails, right? Go to the garage, grab a nail, grab a hammer, tape it down, right? And then you can hammer a hole straight through it. This stuff in particular is, I believe it's only 21 gauge thick, so it's not super, super thick, you can see, right? It's thick enough to be sturdy, but you can easily punch a hole in it with something other than a metal punch if you don't have one, okay? And just wiggle that off of there. And just take a look at it. Make sure your holes are pretty even. I don't ever measure. I just eyeball it because I figure if they're off, you know, it's only going to be by just a tiny bit. Nobody's ever going to notice. Okay, now let's talk about cheating the copper and the that horrible way that it turns colors for us that are very, very acidic. So it turns out that Ranger Ink, in conjunction with Vintage, the patina paints come in metal colors. And for a while I was like, I don't understand why. Why would you need a copper colored patina? Why would you need a natural brass colored patina? Why do you want a bronze colored? Now I know one of the reasons. There are several reasons, of course, because it's fun. If you're working on blue metal that's already got some sort of coating on it, you can bring the metal colors to it. However, this is also a great way to cheat if you know that you're going to turn the color, then coat the color in the color. And then guess what? You've protected it and it's still the same color. I know, crazy, right? So let me show you what I mean. Let me just show you. So I'm going to shake up this copper colored patina. Okay, I'm just going to add a little bit to a piece of paper here. And now I'm not even using a paintbrush today, guys. I'm just using my finger. I'm just going to go over the surface of this with this copper patina, which makes absolutely no sense to anybody who doesn't turn metals, right? Everyone else is like, I don't need to do that. But for those of us who do, and you want to sell this jewelry and you don't want to sell it to somebody and then in 3 days your fingerprints start to come to the surface, this is how we do this, okay? The sound of those balls shaking in there is super gratifying. I know, it makes me feel like I've got a spray paint can and I'm about to do something like, you know, I'm about to be a teenage delinquent and like spray paint something on the side of the wall, which I never did. I'm living vicariously through my patina paints. Oh man. Okay, so let that dry just a little bit, okay? And then you can come in with your relief block and hit it a little bit, right? Oh, I didn't let this one sit nearly long enough, but it's okay, it'll still do. It'll still do, right? Get it down in the crevices. Probably should have let this one sit just a little while longer. That's okay. Okay. Then you bring the shine to it, right? And if you need to coat it again, coat it again. There are no rules with the patinas, which I really, really love, okay? You can coat it as many times as you want to. Let it dry, and it dries fairly quickly. I think that first coat that I put on there was a little on the thick side, but you know, that's okay. All right, so let it sit, hit hit those high points, bring a little of that texture back to it, right? But down in the deep parts, that patina is still there. It's still there, and it's not going to change color on you, which in my opinion is like brilliant. Hello, now I have a copper piece that's gonna stay copper. You can't ask for an easier trick than that, right? Okay, so that's all well and good, but now I want to kind of frame this piece with a little bit more of this green. Well, it's like a turquoisey color, right? I want to frame it with a little different color just to kind of give it a pop. You don't have to do this, but I think it looks really cool. And this is the thing that I was talking about, that even if you don't, look, I'm just touching the edge with my finger. If you don't have flat artistic wire, you can still do this little framing trick to any of your metal components, whatever they are, right? Which, I mean, any opportunity to add that one. Oh, I messed up. Hold on. Any opportunity to add paint to things, I'm like, yes, let's do that. So look at how I messed that up. See, you can see where I came up to. I got a little crazy. I can get rid of that, which is fantastic, just by kind of sanding it off. Right? Or you can leave it. You don't have to even worry about it, really. Put a little more of the copper back on there. Okay. Now, dipping my finger back in to this teal color, just all along the edge. And boom, done. It's just a little tiny hint of color, but I don't know. I really like it. I'm not sure why, but to me, it's just a simple little, and you can see when you get the whole thing together, how that outer framing of the patina in this blue-green color, how it shows up. I'm a fan. And the cool thing is that the patinas come in so many different colors that you don't even have to do it in this color. You could do it in whatever color you wanted to match whatever beads you were going to add. Is the block just for sanding? It is. So the block, this relief block, you can get these from Vintage. I believe they're like $3. It's a squishy foam thing, but it has a very, very fine, like super fine grit sandpaper on the sides, and they're all a little bit different. I think the one on either side, these two sides are the same. This one is more of a buffing, you can buff it to a shine, and you can use this side to buff as well. But yeah, it's specifically made for jewelry. It's really, really inexpensive, and you can buff over or sand over the patinas with it, and then you can clean these up, which is super cool. So it lasts a really long time, but gosh, for $3, you can't beat that. I trust it more than picking out my own sandpaper. If that's, if that's something you're thinking about, where you're like, oh, I just have sandpaper in the garage, I wouldn't. Just because the sandpapers that are not specifically made for jewelry or as fine as you can get will scratch your metals up big time. And this thing will not scratch your metal up, which is fantastic. So, okay, so we're going to let this dry a little bit longer, and we're going to work on our beads and put it together, shall we? All right, so the first thing we're going to do is I've got a little drop bead here, and I'm just going to wrap it just like a briolette. Okay, so I've got a piece of 22 gauge wire here. You don't need a lot of wire to do this. Give yourself about 4 inches. I have way more than that. Okay, put your bead on there. We wire wrapped a bead like this yesterday. Okay, bend one side of the wire at the same angle as the top of your bead. Okay, now you want to do the other side as well. So now what you end up with is a little crisscross of your wires right over the top point of your bead. Okay, Now I'm going to come in with my pliers. I'm going to take one of those wires and bend it straight up and down. Okay, and then the other one, I'm going to give it a bend so that now I have an L shape with my two pieces of wire. And in this case, this one is a backwards L, but you get the idea. You've got a good 90-degree angle here. Okay. All right, now I'm going to come in with my bench chain nose pliers so that I can really hold on to that space. I'm going to take the shorter wire and wrap it around, and I actually want to go around, instead of going from the first wrap up, I'm going from the first wrap down. So I want to kind of wrap around, and you don't have to do it this way. This is just the way I'm doing it today. I'm actually wrapping kind of around our little triangle section above our bead, just to fill in a little bit of that open space with some of these wire wraps. Okay, once I've done that, I'm going to come to the back and use my cutter tool to trim off the tail. Okay, now I'm left with just our straight piece coming out the top of the bead. I'm going to come in with my chain nose pliers. I'm going to give the wire a good bend, and we're going to do another wrapped loop here, or another, well, we didn't already do a wrapped loop, but I'm going to do a wrapped loop. So we've already done some wrapping, but now we're actually making the loop. So I'm going to go up and over the top barrel of the round nose pliers, roll those out of the way, and take the wire over to the other side. Now I've got a really long section of wire here, so I'm going to wrap between the loop and the wraps that are already there, and then I'm going to just bulk that up a bit. Right? So I'm just going to kind of messy wrap back up over the ones that I already made. Okay, and then trim off any of the excess. And I can see where I cut off the piece from before sticking out a little bit. I don't know if you can notice it or not. See that little guy? I just want to kind of tuck him in because I don't want him to get caught on any clothing. So I tucked him up inside those wire wraps. Now you can't even see him, which is good, right? So we have this kind of messy wire wrap going on. Our bead is ready to add as our drop, but that's not the only beads that I want here. So what I want is I want to do a row of 11 seed beads right here in the center of this piece. And this is how we're going to do it. I'm going to put them on an eye pin, right, and do about 11 copper beads. And I want to make sure that my measurements for my loops are going to coincide with the holes that I punched in my metal. Okay, so this was actually a 24 gauge head pin that I turned into an eye pin, which is exactly what I'm going to do now because I don't have any 24 gauge eye pins. I want this metal to be really, really small. You can just use a piece of 24 gauge wire if you want to, but I just trimmed the head off of the head pin. Okay. The reason is because I'm using size 11 seed beads, and they're so tiny that I want to be sure that my head pin wire is going to be small enough to go through them. So I'm just going to treat this like if it were just a regular piece of wire. Now that the head is gone, I just bent that over with a pair of chain nose pliers, and now I'm just going to use my round nose pliers to create an eye, right? Just a simple loop at the top. Okay, now I'm using some size 11s. I only need 11 size 11s. And yours is going to vary depending on, you know, how big your piece is. All right, so there's 2, 3, come on, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 maybe, and 11. Did I get that one on there? 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I did. Okay. All right, now I just want to do a simple loop on the opposite end. Okay, so just grabbing the wire, I'm going to bend it right at the bead. Okay, bring in my cutter tool, trim off, leave yourself about 1/4 of an inch. Round nose pliers, roll the wire back to make a simple loop. Make sure you get it nice and closed too, so those seed beads don't sneak into that loop, because they will do that. They're sneaky little guys. All right, so there we go. We've got a little row of beads that we can also add to our little earring here. So all we need now, I told you this Feel Good Friday. That's why this one's super easy, super quick. We're not spending a lot of time on crazy things on Feel Good Fridays. It's just a feel good, quick and easy thing to do. All right, so I'm going to use a 6mm jump ring. Okay, 2 pairs of pliers, open the jump ring. I'm going to thread my bead on, my drop bead. I'm going to thread that through one of the holes on the bottom of our piece of copper wire, and then I'm going to thread on one of the rings or one of the eyes from our eye pin that has our seed beads on it. Close that back. Right. Okay, same thing on the other end. I'm going to use another 6mm jump ring. Open, thread through our eye pin, thread through the top of our piece of copper. And then I'm going to thread on a 4mm jump ring as our go-between for our ear wire. Okay, that's just because our ear wire is going the same direction as our 6mm jump ring, so I need that kind of go-between. I'm going to open up our ear wire and attach that to that 4mm jump ring, and that's it. It's quick and easy, but you know, completely unique, right? Very, very unique. You got to hammer, you got to add some paint, and you've got earrings that you would find in a boutique. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. That's for real. Super quick and easy. We're not even using a whole lot of materials here. We're using 1 inch, 2 inches total, and look at how much wire we have left. Right? I mean, we have a ton of wire left over. We only used, what, 22 seed beads and 2 drop beads. And the drop beads could be anything that you wanted them to be. They don't have to be drops like this. They could be any kind of beautiful bead at the bottom. Just make your patina color, like your frame color, match whatever bead you put here on the bottom. If you didn't want to use seed beads, you could use like 2 or 3mm crystals here if you wanted to. You could mix the beads up and give them like a Native American pattern, or you could have them, you know, the same color as your drop bead. You could use copper or brass instead for your findings. So you can change this up a lot. Also, just want to say, I don't know if you guys remember, let me show it to you because it is hanging right here. We did this necklace right before Christmas, and you guys really, really loved this necklace. Remember this guy that we did right before Christmas? This, yeah? Could you imagine this with these? Instead of the hammered ones with the beads on them, do hammered ones with those beads, right? With your seed beads in the center and your little patina accents. How cool would that be? So you can even add that whole little thing to a necklace if you wanted to. Or you could do bracelet links like this. Instead of making it an earring, maybe make it a 1/2 inch instead of 1 inch and link a whole bunch of them together and make a bracelet out of them. That'd be really cool little bracelet links. So there you go. I hope I've inspired you. Feel Good Friday, right? Keeping it simple, keeping it fun, easy little things that you can do if you have these materials. If you don't have these materials, improvise with what you do have. I'm willing to bet you've got something in your stash that you can hammer on and patina on just for fun. I'm willing to bet you do. I'm going to turn you around. And wiggle a little bit. Okay, and then let's put these on so we can see what they look like. I sometimes I'm like, gosh, we've only been here for like 30 minutes, right? And I'm like, I didn't give you guys enough today. But I feel like after I've given you so many ideas, I hope I did give you enough, right? I don't ever want you to feel like I shortchanged you, right? So Sometimes quick and easy things are good. That's what Feel Good Friday is all about. Now, if I could just get these on. Look how fun those are! Minus my green finger. I think they're super, super fun, and you could do these in a million different colors if you wanted to. I think they look really pretty on the necklace as well. I love using the flat artistic wire with the metals. I mean, with the necklaces. What I'm talking about today. Aren't they fun? They're different, and just that little whisper of the blue around the edging really kind of keeps it from disappearing into your hair, right? It's hard maybe to see at this distance, but when I come a little bit closer, like there's no mistaking that blue edging that we put around there, green edging, whatever color you want to call it. Super fun, super fun. I hope you guys have enjoyed. I know, quick and easy today, but that's what I'm all about. That's what Fridays are all about. Oh my goodness. All right, guys. So let's wrap up. Let's chat for a second. I am going to go into the Sarah Ellis Designs community Facebook group here in just a little while. It looks like my iPad has finished updating. I'm going to hook it up and then I'll go into the group to test it out. So if you see me go live, that's what I'm doing. I'm not doing a project or anything. I'm just testing out the audio. So let me know how it sounds if you happen to be there. If not, that's okay. No big deal. I just need like maybe 1 or 2 pairs of ears to make sure that the audio is good. If you have not signed up for the Sarah Ellis Designs community group on Facebook, please do so. We have an amazing group of people there. So much inspiration. You guys always post the most amazing designs ever. Keep that up. You are inspiring me. You are inspiring each other. It's pretty amazing. So love you guys. Come hang out in our Facebook group. If you've not done that, you can also sign up for the email list, which I have been really bad and have not been sending emails. But I feel like I tell you guys so much during the lives. It's like, okay, well, what am I going to put in the email? So I need to get better about that. I need to actually schedule some reminders to remind myself that at least once a week to send an email so that, it's worth it that you've actually signed up for that. I'm really bad, guys. Really bad. Anything else? I can't think of anything. Since I don't have a virtual class tomorrow on Michael's, I will not see you guys again until Tuesday. Unless you come over to the Jewel Loom group this afternoon at 4 p.m. Eastern Time for a Jewel Loom project. Otherwise, have an amazing weekend. I hope I've inspired you. Go use your hammer. Get that hammer out and take some of that aggression out. Have an amazing weekend. I will see you guys soon. I love you guys. Bye.